Top of the morning to you, good afternoon, good evening to you, depending on when you will be watching us. We are the ladies of Opinion Poll. As you can see, I am Ayo and I'm with the ladies today. Good afternoon. How are you all doing?
Afternoon.
It's like we
Afternoon.
are all swinging today. See the combination now. The combination is combination.
a very good
Well,
combo.
what's the mystery behind this color? And we didn't plan it though.
As in, we
Seriously,
didn't
it's just
sometimes things that are not planned.
our
Oh,
minds is like working together now.
I love that. I love that. So
One love.
let me start with your pick. How are you doing today? Now, how is today going to be?
I'm fine. Just that I'm so tired. Like seriously, I don't know. Since yesterday I've been so tired as if I've been breaking rocks. I don't even understand myself.
Father Lord. But probably you need to get some rest then. There are
Seriously.
times that we manage our body and on the long run it feels like we are overdoing. Maybe you need to get enough rest. So let me go to you, Ramsey girl. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Fine. Always fine. Fine as usual. We thank God for life.
And you're looking good. I love your hearing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So as for me, myself, and I, right now, I think I need to get a lot of rest. Like I advised my
The
sister,
both of you need
we
a lot
need
of
the
rest.
rest. That thing that people used to say that all work no play make
Make
Jack
Jack's
a
a dull
dull boy.
boy.
So I don't want Ayo to become a
A
dull
dull
girl.
Ayo.
So I don't want to be a dull Ayo. So I really need to get enough rest too. At the same time, I want to use this medium to apologize to our viewers. We are not supposed to be doing this with you today, but something came up like a technical issue, and that is why we are here. So we hope that our apologies has been accepted. As you all know, on this session of Opinion Poll, we discuss anything that is worth discussing, and today we have a really, really interesting topic to discuss with you. But before we reveal the topic to you, let's go on a quick break, and when we get back, we'll go into the show. Please stay with us. Okay, welcome back to the show. So today, as you all know, on the segment of Opinion Poll, we'll look at conversations around children. As you know, since May, we have been looking at conversation around children, to enlighten and sensitize the general public on what it means to be a child. And back to back this month, we have been looking at children acting like, adults acting like babies and all of that. And once again, we have a conversation like it, this Niger mass wedding palaver that has been a thing in Niger State, and it has become a really big problem. Over the weeks, the Niger State government, the people of Niger State, reach out to the Niger State government that there are some of their people, that some of their girls that are ripe for marriage, but because their parents are late and they could not foot the bill, they could not take care of the necessary things. They reach out to the Niger State government to help them to pay up this right. And as soon as they reach out to the Niger State spokesperson, he said, no problem, bring all these girls together. After all, they lost their parents to the Boko Harams, and they said, bring all of these girls together. And they had about a total of about 100 girls, and they said that, okay, let's do mass wedding for these girls and all of that. But the Niger State's women, minister for women affairs, she came out and she was like, no, it is wrong for you to give these children marriage. Why give them marriage when you can actually empower them for them to have a meaningful source of a meaningful thing they are doing and all of that. But because this issue it has been an issue that has been going back and forth in Niger State, then these girls themselves are not like, no, we are ready for marriage. This is our culture. This is how we do our thing. As soon as we are 18 years old, we are ripe for marriage and we want to get married and all of that. So I would like to quickly read through some of the things that the girls said. They said they are ripe for marriage. They should allow them to be married. So here is what they said: the proposed mass wedding of 100 orphan girls in Marigo local government area of Niger State has attracted more attention than was intended. A move that began as a simple intention to help girls whose were killed by bandits as metamorphosed into a full-fledged verbal war tinted with religious connotations. The invitation card announcing that the Speaker, Niger State House of Assembly, Barrister Abdul Malik Sekindaji, would be given the hands of 100 orphans in marriage was first cited on the social media platform. According to the information contained in the invite, the mass wedding would be done alongside the flagging of a 5-kilometer road network within the local government area and distribution of cars to the 8 district heads and other critical stakeholders in the local government. The event was scheduled to hold on May 24th, and that's going to be in 3 days' time. Now, the speaker confirmed to journalists who reached out to him for further clarification that the hands of 100 female orphans who lost their parents in banditry attack in Marigo local government area would be given out in marriage. He said he would pay the dowries for the bridegroom and had already procured all the materials the girls needed for proper marriage. The speaker, who represents Mariga constituency at the State Assembly, however, did not disclose the age range of the girls. So according to them, they said they want to do this to ameliorate, to take away the suffering of the poor. Now, 2 days after it passed this information, the Minister for Women Affairs in Nigeria, the person of Mrs. Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, she rose in anger that why would you give these girls out in marriage? You don't need to give them out in marriage. That is not what they need. So the conversation we're having today is around early marriage. Now, the ladies, I really want to get your opinion on this. These children, this woman, this Minister of Women Affairs, if she had supported the action of the Niger State government that these children want to get married, let them get married. It is what they want. Let's give them what they want. If she had supported it, they would say, you are a woman. Why would you accept that these girls get married? They are still very young, 18 years old. They can go to school, get empowered, do one or two things with their life. People will blame. Now, she stood up and said, no, this is not what these girls need. They need to be empowered. But these girls themselves, they are coming out to say, we are ready for marriage. Give us out. But if you discover now, on the long run, after 5 years, after 10 years, these girls will still come back again. They will come and be a problem on the neck of the Niger State government. So the conversation now is around early marriage. There is early marriage. The conversation also is on ladies who feel like the only thing with their life is marriage. They feel like the highest achievement you can achieve in this life as a lady is marriage. There's no other thing. But before we go into other parts of the story, I would like to hear your first thoughts. When you saw the story, let me start with Ramsey Girl. When you saw the story, what were the first things that came to your mind when you read the story?
Actually, when I first read the story, to me, I didn't see anything wrong with the mass wedding. Because from where I come from, and as a Muslim, we see nothing wrong in doing mass wedding. It's as a way of, instead of doing one marriage, doing one bit by bit, we gather those brides together and celebrate them together. But mostly they are from the same family, the same extended family. So reading that write-up is a very long write-up. Reading through it, we can see that the children, the brides are ages between 18 to 25. So they are not underaged.
Yeah.
So my own now is that the woman, that the Minister of Women Affairs, why didn't she do a due diligence when she heard of such? Because now she's now saying that they need to empower them, they need to do this. That empowerment that was not given to them when their parents were dead. So is it now that they want to give them the empowerment? So to me, I'm not seeing anything wrong. Yes, they can say I'm a woman. Yes, I'm a woman. But Islamically and according to the Hausa tradition, there is nothing wrong with early marriage. So I think this is hypocrisy to me. Just coming out, there's nothing wrong with empowerment, right? But coming out because they said they want to give them a mass wedding, coming out now to say they are going to empower them is a very wrong thing. The government is supposed to have looked into their matter before they now decided to say they want to do their mass wedding, and they were not even forced to do the mass wedding. The honorable from that their constituency is only trying to financed the wedding. He's not the one that said
They
that
should go and
yes, he
marry.
didn't insist on them getting married.
Okay, Yopi girl, let me hear your first thoughts. What came to your mind? These girls, they said they are ready for marriage. Do you think what they need right now is the marriage, or they should be empowered according to the Ministers for Women Affairs?
When I saw the write of the story, particularly from my own side, I felt like there is more to it. I was thinking like maybe there is something that they want to get from it, and I can't blame the Minister of Women's Affairs from my own side, in the sense that she's a mother, right?
Yeah.
And when it comes to issues like this, we have to do it the way it's supposed to be. And for those people that said they want to get, when you are reading the write up the other time, there is a statement that's caught my attention, which is they want to do the wedding so that it will take down the suffering or pour something. And from that perspective, I was like, is it what they are trying to tell us now is when they got married to reduce the way everyone is suffering or poor? No. So now marriage is to reduce suffering or what? Or some people, they will get married and the suffering will still continue. From my own side, though the ladies in question, they felt like they are ready to get married, and I can't blame them because that is how they used to do in their own side. We can't use their northern part to compare this side. It's different.
But then I want us to look at this. I believe that culture is a way of life.
Yes.
How they used to do their things. We all know that Northerners, they get married very early. Now, we discover that if you look at the number of poor people in Nigeria, we can to some extent attribute it to the Northerners. Now, this can be as a result of the only thing these girls are being prepared for is marriage. You discover that as they begin to grow up, they train them to be married. They train them to, with that mindset that one day you go to your husband's house, you must know how to do this, you must know how to do that. Now, that is a culture, how it has been. So to me personally, I feel I would support what the Minister for Women Affairs is doing. Why? The reason for me is because this woman knows that when you empower any woman in a community, that community will grow. You see that most people that are doing business in our streets, they are women. Yes. How many market men do you see? How many market men do you hear about? You hear about market women. Now, this woman is trying to curb the fact that no, we don't want you to suffer even while you are in marriage. Because one, according to the Northern culture, the duty of the man is to get an apartment where they are going to stay together. The duty of the woman when the bride price has been paid is that the woman will be the one to furnish the whole apartment. She will do everything. She will stock the kitchen, furnish the house to her own taste. Now, if the Niger State government should give them money to do all of these things, will Niger State government continue to give the woman money to cater for her own personal need? She wants to look fine. She wants to do this. Will they be able to do that? So what the Minister for Women Affairs is saying is that no, let's empower you. Have something doing. Have money. Have your own money. Spend your own money. When marriage comes, marriage is going to be like an added advantage. Now it now brings me to conversation on early marriage in the northern part of Nigeria. They are gone are those days that I feel like it's a society that make it look like once you are 25 you have to be married. Society make it look like that, and these children are saying we are not young, we are 18 to 25 years, we are free to get married. Meanwhile, if you look at some of them, they don't even have what it takes to be in that marriage. So how then should we then say that this their culture should continue, or the minister should insist that no, we have to empower you, because we cannot always give the people what they want. We must be able to, as a leader must be able to see that this is what my people need. This is what is important to them. And regardless of how they don't like it, we must insist that this is how to go about it. So let's have that conversation now on early marriage. Would you support that early marriage should continue in the northern part of Nigeria?
When we talk about early marriage, like I said, it's part of the Northerners. It is their culture. And I think now most of them, as technology is already, technology has already evolved around us, so most of them are already moving with technology too. And even from the write up, I saw that their head, the leaders of the community, they also have a law that once you are not up to a certain age, then they used to force their children. Sometimes a newborn baby is already betrothed to somebody.
Yeah.
By the time that girl is up to marriageable age, the man that she is betrothed to is already 70 something years and 60 something years. So they will ask her to marry the girl by force, of which she has no choice. But from that write up, I read that there's already a law stating against it, that anyone that is not of marriageable age should not be forced into marriage. So they are already, like I said, Islamically, early marriage is good. For a lady, marriage start from 18 years Islamically. So I wouldn't say we are going to go against it. It is not something to eradicate, because it is part of Islamic law. It's not something to be eradicated.
Okay, let me go to your Pigel. Your take
You
on
know,
early marriage. Because 25 is still early. Why can't they just make money? That's what
What
coming
if
to my
I've
we are
mind.
already
seeing that,
made
we
that
think
money
in
before
different ways.
25?
Okay.
So, this marriage of a thing, it's supposed to be a choice, not like imposing it or forcing it. And when we look at that early marriage stuff, let me start from this. Early marriage, this is two different words coming together, right? So, early, now, when we say early, it's just like something that is done before usual time, right? And when we say marriage, they said marriage is the coming together of a man and woman to become husband and wife. And some people will even tell you that when we say marriage, mature man and mature woman.
Mm.
So it takes someone that is mature enough in order to control your home to get married. So now, when we say early marriage, which is otherwise known as child marriage, so this is like this is it refers to formal marriage or informal union between a child of 18 and an adult or another child. So looking into this now, early marriage is something that is done before usual time. It is supposed to take place at that moment, but they just feel like maybe let's do this in order to, And in terms of early marriage, some people they don't have interest, but their parents were like pushing them to do it by force. If you look into most of those early marriage, it's not from the depth of the heart of those girls. Some of them were like maybe the person that the parent want them to get married to have been the person is rich enough, is the one doing everything for their family. They be like, just have to. But looking into this from my own side, I think the causes of this thing mostly is poverty and lack of education. In terms of another part, don't let me say they lack, in terms of education stuff like that. Because if we are educated enough, you will know that at the age of 18, marriage is not the next thing for you. You still have a long way that you are going. How will I be thinking of getting married at the age of 18? I recently I was thinking about my life and I was like, okay, let me say if I even decided to get married at that 18 day, how will my life be?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how to behave. I'm so stubborn. If you tell me that do this, I'll be mocking you. I'm this kind of person that used to put someone's leg. When you are saying something that is real, I'll be playing with your words. You know, that kind of thing. And then my boyfriend then will be like, he's someone that used to abide with everything that I want, that kind of thing. But me, from my own side, I will still fuck up. Sorry to use that word. I will still mess everything up because of my behavior. So just take a look at it. Around that 18, there is nothing like maturity. Because you have not learned anything. I can say it. Because you still have, even 25 years, you are still learning. It's just like someone that's supposed to be under tutelage. Your parents supposed to be telling you what to do. So I don't know what's
You see, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it from the maturity that she mentioned. I used to crush on one guy when I was about okay, I can't remember the age. About 7 to 8 years ago, the guy used to be my crush. Then, I was like, God, let this guy just come and ask me out. This guy should just come and ask me out. You can't believe that earlier this year I saw the guy and I was like, I was like this. I was like, how did I manage to be crushing on this guy? What happened? Growth happened.
Yes.
Because then I don't know what I was doing. I was just imagining that what if the guy had asked me out? I would be regretting now that how come I managed? Did they wash my eyes off before I decided to date this guy? Now let's relate it to these girls. You see, they don't know anything yet. And I think it is also a good time to sensitize women that they can be more. They can have more for themselves. They can achieve something for themselves. I am not against that they want to get married though. In fact, if I have a younger sister or I have a younger cousin who says, auntie, I want to get married at 20,
Is this our
no
choice?
problem. It is your choice. But at the same time, have a plan for yourself. Have something that you want to achieve for yourself. I've always told women that they could be more. They could be more than what they are saying now. It is not about the marriage, because one day the vibes may not be there again. What will keep you going? But I know you wanted to say something the other time, so let me hear
No,
your
you
thoughts.
see, with this early marriage of a thing, I think we are trying to misunderstand it.
Okay.
Sometimes, even the rich among the northerners are fans of early marriage. You see what they do. From my side, why early marriage is being encouraged is to, no, even if you're up to 30 years, you're talking about growth. Even if you're up to 30 years, doesn't mean you will not misbehave. And at that age, sometimes even the 18-year-old is wiser than you that call yourself that you are of marriageable age. Most times that early marriage is to avoid to avoid a kind of bad behavior, a kind of
Misbehavior.
misbehavior among them. So it's not. And then, you know, in where I come from, we have a kind of a family house. So even if you are getting married at that 18 years of age, there's no how you are going to be led astray, because we have adults and people on their hands are on deck to take care of you and to teach you the right thing, to tell you whatever you need to do. Even then, they are not even the ones spending money to do. From this write up now, they said the man is to sponsor the wedding. He's sponsoring that because, and they said their parents are not alive. Those that
Yeah.
are able, that was to support them, they are not alive. During in the wedding, what they do is the family. It can be the groom's family and the bride's family. Is their right, as it is their duty to provide whatever the bride is to use. It is these days that everything is now, we are now linking everything to technology, that the bride will say, okay, I want to buy electric kettle, I want to buy it is the duty of the family, of the couple's family, to get those things for them. Yes, for them. So, and according to the honorable, that is what is trying to help them with. And most of these people, they said it that they are already in petty trading, and this marriage as something they should have is something they should have done.
But
So
petty trading in an economy
you
like
see,
you
Tinubu.
see, it's as if I'm supporting these people, and it's not like that. I know Nigerian government.
Tinubu.
I know Nigerian government.
Okay.
This woman that is shouting empowerment, empowerment, empowerment. How are we sure this thing is going to take place when everything have died down?
Even if it's not going to
Why,
take place,
like I said again, why can't she empower them when they lost their parents? One of the girls said she has finished secondary school and she has already gained admission into the university when she lost her parents to the hands of Boko Haram. So why can't they help her by sponsoring her education? But because she lost her parents, there's nobody to assist her. She had to drop out and engage in petty trading.
And marriage is the next thing.
Marriage is the next thing. You see,
No,
the
you
part
see,
where I want
this marriage is the
to
next thing.
mention is that you see, these people did not reach out to. They didn't reach out to the Niger State government when they lost their father. I understand. I understand that they will have IDP camps.
Okay, now did they reach out to this woman? Nobody reached out to this woman.
They didn't
before
reach
she
out.
said,
Because
Exactly.
she
said she wants to empower them. Nobody reached out to her.
Yes.
Then
yes.
we were all aware of the ongoing Boko Haram activities then. She would not say she wasn't aware. Why did she reach out then? So there's nobody that won't say they were not aware.
One thing I want to say.
So it's not about reaching out. If you want to help, you help, and it's not about making mouth.
But then we should also take note.
And as they are going to get married, she can still empower them with this marriage.
While
they
are
want
married.
to use the marriage in order to reduce the suffering or.
No, it's that you didn't get the right. If you read that right of most of them didn't say. They said they already have the person that they are engaged with. So that maybe because you guys are not Muslim, that's why you're kind of looking at this thing as something that
No,
is
no,
wrong.
I am not totally against the wedding.
Okay.
I'm not totally against the
Because
wedding.
to
My
me, like
concern
I
is
said,
that they should have accepted empowerment.
no, they are not even. If they are not against it, they are not against it. What they are against is the woman stopping the mass wedding. She has already taken it to court and ordered them that they should stop it. And so what those ladies are against is she stopping the wedding. They are not against empowerment, but they are
Because
against she stopping
they
the
want to
wedding.
get married by force.
But
They are
now
not
let's
getting married by force.
now
Marriage
let's
sweet,
let's
oh.
look at it this way.
Okay.
You know, I as a leader, I said something earlier that as a leader, it is not all the time that you give your people what they want. As a leader, you know, there's this Yoruba proverb that says, "What an elderly person is seeing from the mountaintop,
Yes.
even if a child should climb a
Like,
great hill, you will not be
you
able
won't
to
be able to
see
see
it."
it.
That woman is she's old enough to birth some of those children.
Sure.
She knows what the future holds. She knows that marriage is not enough to sustain people again now. She knows that marriage is not an escape route. It's not an escape plan for people now. Maybe she's just looking at it from that perspective that, oh, marriage is not enough. What happened? Because men now, thank God you are married. You know, it will be good to see it from your own perspective that there are times that you have to support at home. And you see that when men see that women are not supportive, they become tired, they begin to give some unnecessary attitude. Then she has seen this thing that instead of you to go and become a liability to your husbands, why not wait for a while? I believe she didn't explain it like this, but we are just looking at it
Yes.
from different angle as presenters that okay, I have seen this thing, I have experienced this thing. I know it doesn't work this way. Now, why not let me empower you? Have a job you are doing so that even as you are in the marriage, you have money coming to support your husbands. So, what if this is a perspective that the woman is coming from? That she just needs them to understand that she just needs to change their orientation. That marriage is not everything. Do you get my explanation?
Exactly.
So can we as well see it from that perspective, from the woman's perspective?
Well, we are just all imagining. We are not sure of everyone's intention. From that write up, what I see is, sometimes the feminism in us will make us want to act sometimes
Yeah.
without thinking.
Mm.
So I think when she saw, sometimes it's just capture. These bloggers, the way they will capture something, the caption that they're going to give
Can you even give it after?
a news. So I think maybe she just saw the caption. Like I said, she was supposed to have done her due diligence. Most times, this early marriage of a teen is not about poverty or anything, because Islamically and the Hausa tradition, they knows that it is there. You cannot expect an Hausa man to think, okay, I'm getting married and this marriage is going to be on a 50-50 note. No, because they know that it is their right to provide.
The husband.
Even a poor Hausa that is here in Lagos State that is doing maybe Okada or anything, you will see them when they are traveling. Majority 80 or 90% of the money that they are making goes to their family, because they know that it's their right.
If anything happens to the man? What becomes of the woman?
Leading us to that one.
Okay.
When any one of them is dead, though, there's nowhere that we don't have this poverty mentality also. When any one of them is there, the brother of that person or any of the extended family, they are a close knitted family, so they don't differentiate. So majorly all the houses there is a kind of family house, so they don't used to. I don't know how to put that in.
I love the fact. I love how
So
this.
they
I
don't
love
used
that
to
where this conversation
differentiate.
is going into.
They don't used to
So we are
differentiate.
seeing
They
we
are
are seeing into the
close-knitted.
northern culture now.
So they are close knitted. There's nothing like, no, it's not my son. No, I won't take care of this. No, there's nothing like that in their culture. So it's because we are not enlightened. We don't have a full knowledge of their culture. That's how we're kind of talking like that. So I know
Okay,
what I'm
let
saying.
me hear your thoughts. Then we come back to culture,
According to
because
what
this
you said,
culture thing, we have to deal with it. You know, there are some things that culture. You know, you like Yoruba culture now. When the child is playing with water, maybe rain is falling now, and the child is putting
yes, they
the
say
hand.
thunder will
They
strike.
Yeah,
say
ask
some
you
when
to go
thunder
inside,
strike, you will this thing,
and
something
it's
will
in
happen to
life.
you. So it's a big fat lie, but then it is culture.
Yes.
When I made my findings and discover what that thing means, it is just to stop the child from
For
playing.
playing
You can
because
easily
of
stop.
cold.
Yeah, because of cold, you can easily tell the child go so that you don't catch cold and all of that culture. But because it is part of what they have been talking about, this is how we do it. Should we then consider that will be our next conversation? So let me hear your thoughts.
According to what you said earlier, you said it's the responsibility of the husband to provide for the needs of those their wife in terms of our Western culture. They know that they are going to be in charge of everything.
Mm.
One thing I want to say is this: okay, when they know that yes, they will be the one in charge of everything now, that shows they are okay. They have the capacity to do what to go into their marriage. Now, according to the storyline, they said they don't have fun in order to do this to do that. That is why they reach out to the
A
so
Mosu
if
borrow
the
to do wedding.
so if truly they are capable of that marriage,
Mm.
I think you understand what I'm saying.
Mm.
They won't go and be reaching out to the government in order to help them so that because according to the write up now, the man in question said is going to be the one to give them the
Fund
money
the
to
wedding.
do everything.
Mm.
So that shows they are not capable of doing this thing. It's just like they are trying to force them just go so that everything because I don't understand.
No.
According to their coach, they're supposed to be the one doing this by themselves
Mm.
now. That shows they are what they are ready and they are capable of doing it. That shows let's look into it. That means the wife in question as well, they don't have anything doing. And the husband, I'm not sure they have anything doing because when you know that you want to get married, you'll be working towards it. Even Yoruba, you'll be working, you'll be, now, you even if your parents want to support you or your family wants to support you, you will be able to stand on your own and say, oh, I know what I'm doing. I want to get married. Definitely, if they ask me that you buy this, I'll be like, yes, now, because I'm ready. Why would they be reaching out if truly they are ready for this marriage in question?
That's another valid point. So I want to
Yes,
hear
like I
yours.
said, it is the other culture that we see, or like I said the other time, maybe technology that is making a bride. So I don't know how it's done in other parts, but you see in northern part, like I said, it is the family,
The bride's
yeah,
family.
the bride's or and the groom's family that take off the major part of the rest, even up to the clothes and everything that the bride is going to put on. So from the onset, it might not necessarily be, and you know, northerners, their wedding is always colorful.
Mm.
So, and all those colorful things that you are seeing, those behind it are the families. It's not the groom and it's not it is these days that we see bride and groom trying to support a wedding. Then it is the family.
Mm.
So, like I said, we are just thinking. Everybody is just thinking from their own
Yes.
perspective. So it might not necessarily be the couple that went to the man that they are in need.
Mm.
So it might be one of the families, it might be even a close member of the
Yes, yes,
honorable
yeah,
that
yeah.
said,
It is,
and we have
it is
so
the
so so
family
and
member
so.
that reached out
When the
Hey,
to
shey you
husband,
the
see.
why
to
the why
Niger
So
said
so
the
State
so
husband
and
Government.
said I
so.
can do it on my own.
So no, they can't do it on their own because that is how it has been done from the onset.
Mass wedding.
We have you see
Yes.
this thing you have just said. We are
Mass
still going to
wedding.
come back to
That is
culture.
yes, that is that. Just like when I was telling I was sometimes if I'm making a joke with my husband, I will tell them, is it because I don't want you to spend money? If I take you to my village and we do that with that, you people, because we use like 5 7 days, and when if assuming I did that wedding, I did my wedding in our village, I won't spend a dime because it's the family members because they like anything parties. Like we don't do burial in my place, but you see
Okay.
that wedding is what we uphold it.
Mm.
Like it's very special to us. So we can use like 5 7 days. We have a day for these activities, a day for these activities. So each activities, and it is the villagers, the one that will be, is this also person that is doing wedding? Yes, it's the child. Oh, okay, don't worry, let me bring this one. Let me bring this one. So the kind of love. So they are doing it from a place of love, not as a show off or anything.
Okay, so let's speak it from the culture perspective. That is how they used to do it. Should it continue like that in this 21st century? This Tinubu economy that everybody is lamenting, that things are expensive, life is okay. I think I was scrolling through X last week. I saw a post where somebody said that somebody said as a single person now, you want to have the basic things that is needed for you to have at home, you'll be spending roughly 800k. If you want to have that medium size mocha foam in your room, you want to have TV sets, all of those things. You just want to set your own a single room, a room self-contained. You will be spending close to 800K. Now, in an economy like this, should we then continue to say that when we are not buoyant enough to do weddings, we have to rely on the government when there are other important things that the government could have been doing? What I expect of the Niger State government is that, you see, I believe that things are evolving. In those days, many years ago, they grow up, they get married. But now we are growing up with the mindset that as we are growing up, we go to school, we have a life, we then get married. That is the order of the day now, because we see great people, we see people doing exploits, we see people doing things for themselves. They don't have to reach out to family members, they don't have to reach out to anybody. They can afford to take care of necessary bills themselves. So how do we change the perspective? This thing is a good thing. Like I said, if I have a younger sister who wants to get married at 20 years, no problem. It is your bukata. Go and be carrying your bukata. Is your bukata, carry your load and go, because it is what you want. But then how do we change people's perspective? That beyond marriage, why not look at how you can impact the society? Why not look at how you can add value to the society? Why not look at how you can see what you can do because we are now in an economy that everybody is trying to build an economy for themselves. Gone are the days that you have to sit back and be calling family members. Egbon, please send me 20K, I'm broke. Egbon, please send me urgent 2K. There's no more urgent 2K now. What if on the long run something happened? God forbid, their husband will not die. But the economy become evil, even as the economy is going, that you can't use 2,000 naira to prepare good soup, good meal. So what will become of them? So how do we change that narrative? That's just the point. They can go ahead and get married though, but should it continue to be like that? In an economy like ours that we are experiencing now, the Nigeria of 2024 that we are in now, should we continue like that?
No, there's no one that Nigeria has not affected
again.
But we are, like you said, an average single person, we need like 800,000 because we are living in an advanced part of the country. But there, what's their business with mocha foam? No, let us go deep into it. They don't have business with TV. Their own is just to eat, and mostly they are into farming. They eat what they produce. So so
they should just be sleeping, waking up, and eating.
That because they produce what they eat, so they don't have business with TV except the rich part of the northern people. But you see this the other part, they don't have business with even most of them. Like it takes, just like the world is evolving now. Like I said, one of them, they said she already gained admission when her dad died, so she had to stop because there's no one to sponsor her, and she later went into petty trading. So that is the work of the government, and that thing is supposed to have been done from the onset. They are supposed to have a kind of sensitization to let them know these are the things to be done. Give them, is it in a community where the roof of the school is no more there, that you want children to sit down balanced and have a good education? So they are not really sensitized. So to me, it is that sensitization that they need. When they have that, when they have the knowledge of which way to go, we can say we want to stop some things. But without that, it can't be stopped.
That's a valid point. Let me hear your thoughts.
Just like what she said, they need more enlightenment, and they need support from the government. That's in everything, in every setting. Marriage is not when you are thinking on how to live your life and you are thinking of marriage. Marriage is not the most
marriage in itself is a school that you cannot even graduate from.
Some people, that marriage of a thing, they will be like, I beg, when I will just reach this age, I want to get married. They need more enlightenment to let them know that when you are living your life gradually, marriage is not everything.
Now, you see, this is where the government have work to do. You see, I've always been of the opinion that governments don't take proactive measures.
We always be saying it in every show.
It is until there is a problem, a big problem. That's when you begin to see them.
And the only actions they take is when that thing is maybe when it's being circulated. But once the issue
Yes.
died down,
You
that's why
won't
I'm
hear
of the
anything about
opinion
it
that
again.
this woman that is clamoring on empowerment, when all this issue died down, what will happen? We won't hear
Exactly.
anything again, and those children will now go back to their normal lives.
Exactly, because beyond all of these media talks, all of these things, because if not that the Minister of Women Affairs objected to this mass wedding, we won't be hearing this conversation.
Yes.
They would have just married off those girls. So this is where the government comes in. That they should make, I was listening to a program and a lady called into that program. She said the government should have a plan for girls who grew up in homes where they saw their parents fighting. She said she grew up in a home that if her mother and her father are discussing, before you know it, in the space of 5 minutes, they would have beaten each other. Black and blue, beat each other very
That one
well.
is that's why family they call Gbasgbos family.
Exactly, all those Glasgow family. She said she when she grew up, she does not want to get married because she was afraid that her husband, she was afraid that her husband was going to do that same thing to her. And we see all of these things happening. When we had our show last week, we look at the fact that all of these things, the government does not have any plans for children, any plans for women at large and all of that. You see, it is only religion that is talking about children. It is religion that we always have women conference, men conference, this conference, that conference. Except for in a talk show like this where you get to talk about this thing, the government does not even have any of these things put in place. So this is now where the government's work will come into play. Like you need to take action before all of this thing will get to this place. It cannot continue to be. We cannot say because that is how they used to do in the north. It has to continue like that. No, you discover that you see beggars. Nothing happened to them. They are okay, hand and leg. They are okay. But they prefer to beg than to have a job that they are doing on their own. They prefer to do this than to. Do you get all of these things? So we cannot continue to make it. So this is where the government come into play. Before it becomes a topic that everybody is talking about like this, take actions so that when it now escalates like this, then we can now say, hey, when I was saying it then, when we talk about it then, when we did this then, when we did that then. But then, because of our time, I would like to have our final word because I know that you have your what from all angles that you have considered in this story. What would have been your final word for our viewers on this conversation?
Well, my final word still emphasis on the government. The government should try and be dipping their eyes on the grassroots level. Because mainly all these things are from the grassroots level. Is it the financially okay people of the society that will be saying, because even if I from the financially okay citizens of the country, when a particular head of the house is dead, he has already made provisions for his children. So none of the children can come out and say, okay, marriage is the next thing, because they have already made provisions for them to go to school, to better their lives. But the grassroots level, where they have nothing to, they feel, if I'm not doing it, if I'm not going to school, so what am I still waiting for? Let me get married. So the government should try to sensitize the grassroots level on which way to go, positively and negatively.
Okay, so over to you, your figure, your final word for our viewers.
Based on that early marriage stuff, fine. We have some people that got married earlier and their life is better. But simply because someone around you got married earlier and their life is better does not mean that when you get married earlier, your life will be better as well. So for marriage, you can marry at any time you feel like, when you are comfortable with. So don't rush into it. And for parents outside there, please don't force your children in order to get married earlier, because we have some parents that they will be the one pushing them. Those people that got married earlier, we have some of them that is not from the depth of their heart. It's just like they forced them to do it. Please and please, when we look outside there, we are saying divorce. We have some people that, most of them, they got married earlier and along the road, maybe they got married to someone that they don't even love. Just because the pressure is too much, that is why they involve themselves in it. And so please, to get married earlier does not mean anything, and late also does not mean anything.
All right. So my final word for our viewers is that all of these things that we're talking about, government, what have you done to help these children before now? Have you been able to create an enabling environment for them to go to school, get enlightened? Have you been holding programs for these girls to see that there is more to life than getting married? That is one. Secondly, if after these girls get married now, what becomes of them? For God forbid, if anything happens to their husband, they become almajiris and they end up becoming a burden on the neck of the on the neck of the governments of that state. What plans do they have in place for these ladies, even on the long run, if they are stopping the Minister of Women Affairs to empower them? And on the part of the Minister of Women Affairs, before all of these things happen, like you rightly said, what has she been doing before now when those children lost their parents? I was listening to some Chibok girls when they had their 10 years anniversary from Chibok, when after they were kidnapped. Some of those girls said, some of them are in school. The government is still footing the abuse and all of that. If at all they have been doing this thing when those children lost their parents to Boko Haram, it would have been easy for you to influence them and say that no, don't get married now. Why not wait? Get money, do all of these things, impact the society, give back to the society. Then you can get married and find a man that value you and all of that. So the government has a lot of work to do. We are not against early marriage. If you want to marry early, no problem. But have something doing so you don't end up becoming a burden to the husband and also to the government. So this is where we are wrapping up the show today. Thank you all so much for staying tuned with us. We are the ladies of Opinion Poll. Until we come your way again, do have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Where you can air your views. Engine Speak is an online video experience platform where you can make unlimited live broadcasts. This is a platform that makes it easy to connect with a wide audience. You can make a broadcast of your comedies, skits, news stories, short videos, and so much more. Visit www.enginespeak.com today to commence your opinion airing.